Okay, students, some few instructions for you all. I'm going to start with an extra class today. Okay, today I hope you don't have any other class after 11. Is there any
Yes, ma'am.
class after 11?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to take an extra class for you all from 11 a.m. Okay, 11 to 11:45. I'll be taking an extra
Ma'am?
class today. Yes,
Ma'am, some
yes.
of us have to go to school after 11.
I can't hear you. Please, could you be a little louder?
Ma'am, some of us have to go to school after 11 at 12.
For what purpose?
Ma'am, for Teachers' Day practice.
Acha, Teachers' Day practice, no? After 11, you'll be going. How many of you are there from computer science batch?
Ma'am, cabinet
Just
members and
just raise your hands so that I could see the number. You are there, and apart from Agni Jaharia, anybody else? Actually, we have a lot of course to complete. Okay, so that is why if I don't take extra classes, we won't be able to complete our syllabus on time, right? We need to complete our syllabus on time with ample practice, right? So Agni, see, I already, you know that I record all the sessions, right? And once a session is recorded, it is available for download. When you check your Teams app, okay, so you will be seeing it over there. You can download that recording to your device and you can watch it at any time in a
yes,
self-paced
ma'am.
manner. So make sure that you download it today itself. Okay, once you go home, you check today's meeting, you check for the latest recording and you download it. Students, this I am telling you all, okay, this is for everybody. The download, the recorded meeting is available for download for 20 days after it is recorded. Okay, so the day the lecture has been taken and the meeting recording is available, please download it the same day and save it on your computer, and you can watch it at your own self-paced manner. But that doesn't mean that you will not join the classes. Is that clear? Joining the classes is most important. Taking a live class and watching a recorded session, there is a vast difference. Recorded session is only for emergencies. When you, like, Agni has an emergency, she has to report to school today, so that is also a requirement of the school, so that is the reason why she has to take it later on. But if you are at home, if you have time, you are going to join the online class. Okay, because your attendance will be counted only by the online class, right? Okay. And students, one more thing I am telling you, there is a lot of information given in the book. Okay, I am going to cover all of that, don't worry. But there are certain things which we will be overlooking for the time being, because it is not possible to delve deep into every small nook and corner of your syllabus, right? So we will be, for that detailed discussion, anytime later whenever we have free time, at that time you can contact me personally. I will solve your doubts. But in the class, as per the syllabus, we have to rush a lot. Okay, हमें जल्दी काम करना होगा, because we have to finish at least 60% of the syllabus before your first term, which is in November, which is scheduled from 22nd November, right? So that is the reason why you have to cooperate with me and keep pace with the class. And any other extra things which you need to ask, you can ask me later. Mohit, your problem, I didn't get time yesterday. I will solve that. Would you just give me a small summary of what issue you were facing with that,
Yes,
so that I can
ma'am.
look into it later on?
Yes, ma'am. I downloaded that Python from www.python.org, and ma'am, then I installed it. And ma'am, after installing it, then ma'am, when I clicked over it, ma'am, it was giving modules, and ma'am, it was not giving the interactive mode for typing. Yes, ma'am.
Is it Python Idle you downloaded?
Ma'am, that
Can you share the screen right now and show me?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody will be able to see because this is a vital thing. So all of you will be able to see it on the screen, right? Okay, I'm just raise your hands, Mohit, so that I could make you the presenter here. And everybody, please watch it very carefully, okay? Because you will also be needing it at your home. So I have made you the presenter. You can share your screen, Mohit. Everybody, please look very carefully because this is very vital. That's why I've taken up this question, because you will ultimately need to install it on your computer and to do your practicals. That is very important. Have you shared the screen, Mohit?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing.
Okay.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible. I hope it's visible to rest of the students.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yes. Okay.
And this is
Mohit, just yes, yes, I can understand. Close this. Just go to start. Close this window. This Python window. Yes. Now you go to start. Start. Not search. To start.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Here you. Okay. Idle Python. Can you see that idle Python 3.9? Yes. Just click on it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, got, ma'am, got. Yes,
Got
ma'am.
it? It is
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
You are actually clicking on the wrong one. So you just go to that start once again. I'll tell you what to do. Go to start. Now right click on idle. Okay, right click on idle Python. Right click and pin to start. Click on pin to start. First option, yes. So
Yes,
it will be
ma'am.
available here in the start menu. You don't have to again and again search. And otherwise also you can just scroll down there. Okay. Most used is there, recently added. Go to all apps. Click on all apps just below power. Yes. And here just go to the letter P. Go to the letter P. Scroll down to the letter P. Just stop there. Python 3.9. Can you see the folder? Just click that. Now you'll be able to see all the Python related executable files. The first one is Python idle, which you have to use. This is the Windows GUI based idle, that is IDE. Interactive development and learning environment. Okay, below that what you have is the Python command line mode, so that we don't use much, right? Because already everything is provided in Python idle. So and you also have Python 3.9 manuals. These manuals, just click on the manual.
Yes, ma'am.
Python 3.9 manuals. So students, this is where you get a kind of an ebook over here. The complete Python information you will get. On the left hand side, you see a tree structure. Okay. So just click on the Python tutorial there. The Python tutorial. Yes. Click on that. From here, you will get all necessary information. So this is also like a kind of a textbook tutorial which you have, which you can refer anytime. Python comes with an extensive tutorial and a manual which helps you to learn various things about Python. Okay. So whenever you get time, in your free time, you can just browse through this. If you are stuck somewhere, this will help you to teach yourself, students. Okay. That's why I'm telling you. So I hope, Mohit, it's clear to you all. To you,
Yes, ma'am.
you have to click on Python idle, IDLE, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your software was. You can stop the screen share now. Oh, I hope everybody understood this.
Yes, ma'am.
Please download and install Python IDE on your system. I have already told you that. Okay, that video I need to share with you. That I'll share. Don't worry. Right, so we start with today's class without wasting time. So today I'll be posting a message in the class group also. So you will be having your extra class from 11 a.m. today, right? Fine. So we are starting. We have already seen Python character set in the last class. We are going to see what are tokens. As I already told you that tokens are what, and this is what we did in the last class. We saw Python character set consisting of printable and non-printable characters. Okay, where we have the capital A to Z, small a to Z, the digits 0 to 9. We have special symbols over here and print some non-printable characters like white space, horizontal tab, carriage return, line feed, form feed, and so on. Okay, these characters are not echoed back to the screen. So every data, every identifier, everything, whatever you use within a Python program, that is made up of these characters. That is made up of the character set. Next is we were seeing what are tokens. So what are tokens? I already said it is the smallest indivisible atomic unit within a program. So every symbol you see, everything which cannot be divided further, that is known as a token within a Python program. Now, how many types of tokens do you see? First, you see keywords. What are keywords? These are special reserved words which have some predefined task at hand. Take a note of this. It is predefined task at hand. That is, keywords are those reserved words whose function is fixed. Also, they are known as reserved words. These are some terminologies which you need to keep in mind, okay? They have fixed functions. Their functions, the work which they are supposed to do, it is fixed by the compiler or the interpreter. That is fixed by the designer of the language. The person who has created this language has already fixed the work which this particular keyword is going to do. Like for example, you can see over here, they are colored orange in the Python idle. These are a very few number of keywords. There are thousands of keywords which are available, but these are only a few like and, as, assert, break. You don't need to remember all of them. Only a few common ones we will be seeing. Okay, for, is, in, try, return. These are some of them. Else, elif, right? So these are some of them which we are going to, and also print. We are going to use them in our programs. Okay. So these are special reserved words which have some predefined task at hand. Next is identifiers. Now, what are identifiers? Identifiers are another type of tokens. By this name itself, a word is coming out, that is identify. Identify is mean to recognize. Tell me something. How are you identified? How are you people, you and I, identified? How do people identify us?
Number, face, and voice.
By name.
By your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. By your name. You have your name and surname. Okay, like I write here, Rohit Singh Pawar. So this is the name by which Rohit is identified in society, in school, in family, everywhere. Okay. So likewise, when we have to save data in our program, when we are working with data, we need to save the data somewhere. We will be saving the data where? In the RAM. Okay. And how is that data going to be identified? It is going to be identified by unique names known as identifiers. They are unique names which are given to data values stored in memory. Got it? They are unique names which are given to data values which are stored in memory. Now this unique name means what? That every data value will have a different name. Okay, whatever the number of data values you use in a program, you cannot have two different data values with the same name. If I have 50 here and if I have 5 here, okay, so I need to have two different names to identify them. One will be called A, second will be called B, but it will never be A and A. Okay, so that becomes ambiguous. That is two different uh, variables or two different data values can never have the same name, right? So everybody needs to have a unique name when it comes to your Python program. Not only Python program, but this is the rule followed across all programming languages. And for that purpose, we create identifiers. Okay, and identifiers can be used to name anything. They can be used to name variables, constants. We will learn all these things, students, so don't worry. Constants, functions, okay, objects, classes, and any other thing. So they are used to name anything within a program, whether variables or constants or functions or objects or classes or any other thing which we are using in our program, right? So now identifiers are what? How do we create identifiers? So there are certain rules which we need to follow. Some rules for naming identifiers. So anything which we want to name, we need to follow certain rules, right? Like for our cases also, there are certain conventions. Now it is like even a girl can be named as Amit, but will it suit that person? No. Got it? So there are certain conventions and standards. There are certain unnamed rules or unspoken rules which we follow while naming a girl and a boy. So likewise, there are certain rules for naming identifiers also. Like the first one is long sequence. It is a long sequence of letters and digits. You can use characters, that is alphabets, as well as digits to name identifier. When I talk about alphabets, it is capital A to Z, small a to z. Okay, you can use capital letters also, small letters also, and you can use digits also to name your identifiers. And for special characters you can only use underscore. These four things you can use for creating identifiers. So first rule is you can use these things to create your identifiers, nothing other than these. Next, it cannot start with a digit. It can contain a digit, but it cannot start with a digit. Like for example, if I write one num, this is incorrect. If you write num one, this is correct. Okay, so it means that you cannot start the variable, the identifier can contain a digit, but it cannot start with a digit. Even if I write like this is also correct. That means you have to start it with a character, an alphabet, okay, capital or small, right? But you cannot start it with a digit. Next is it can contain letters, digits, or underscore. That's what I said. Letters are small and uppercase letters, lower and uppercase letters, and digits and underscore can be contained. That is, I can write first underscore num. This is correct. Okay, but I cannot write first dash first space num. Here we have a white space in between. This is wrong. We cannot have spaces in between the identifier. Neither can we write it with a dash in between. This is a hyphen. So this is also wrong. You can have an underscore, right? Or you can, in order to separate two words, you can use camel case. First, num. You all have seen a camel, how it has a hunched back, right? So you can just compare it with this. That is, the first word, all the letters are lowercase. Second word, first letter is capital. Means after the first word, starting from the second word, all of them will have the first letter capital. Like first num, you can, this way you can separate the two words, right? It's up to you. Students, one more thing. These identifiers are user defined. That is, you have to decide for yourself what name you will give to the identifier, right? आप कोई भी नाम रख सकते हो, लेकिन आपको सारे रूल्स फॉलो करने हैं. गॉट इट? आपने बोला कि ओके मुझे फर्स्ट नेम फर्स्ट नम नहीं चाहिए, मुझे ऐसे लिखना है नम वन और नंबर वन, तो यू कैन राइट इट. आई एम राइटिंग इट लाइक दिस, नंबर वन. Okay, or I want to write f num, so I'll write f capital N U M or f small n U M or f underscore n U M. All these are correct. Got it? So this way you can give any name to your identifier, right? So it can contain letters, digits or underscore, but not spaces, no space, no hyphen, no other special character. Okay, except underscore, you cannot use any other symbol within an identifier, right? Next, punctuation and blanks are not allowed. Python is case sensitive. The identifiers total, total and total are all treated differently by the interpreter. Now see, at one point I have written it like this. First underscore num, okay, equals, I have given the value 5, right? And then I have used second underscore num and I have given the value 7. And here I am writing s equals now see over here. Here you have used small f, the lowercase f, lowercase l, and here you have used what? Capital F, capital S. So these will be here, these will be considered as 4 different variables. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 different variables, right? So in order to write it correctly, you have to write it this way. जैसा आपने ऊपर स्पेसिफाई किया है वैसा ही नीचे भी लिखना है. Got it? That is, if you are using small letters here, you have to use small letter here also. Okay. If you want to use capital, that's not a problem, but here also you have to write that. That means here you have to use it like this. And then this one you can, means you have to stick to the same variable name for or same identifier name throughout the program. If at one place you have used total like this, that is, this is all lowercase total. So throughout the program, you will be using this only. Okay, you cannot change that. If you are using this is also correct, but everywhere you have to use this. If you are using this is also correct, but you have to use this everywhere. You can also write it like this. In toggle case, that is also correct, but everywhere you have to stick to this. Is that clear to everywhere? Everybody, you cannot change the name of your identifier. If one identifier you have defined, okay, you have to stick to that identifier name throughout the program, right? It's up to you how you want to name that identifier. You can use any combination of alphabets, both uppercase and lowercase, digits and underscore symbol, okay? But you have to follow these rules and you have to make sure that the same identifier name is used throughout the program. Got it? Because here all these, like this total, this total, this total, and this total, they are four different identifiers. जरा सा भी change आप करते हो identifier name में, that is considered as a different identifier. Why? Because Python is case sensitive. Sensitive to case. We are sensitive to cold. Some of us are sensitive to cold. Some of us are sensitive to heat. Some of us are sensitive to pain. So here Python is case sensitive. It is sensitive to a slight change in cases. Okay. There are certain language like Visual Basic and Basic where uh, it is not case sensitive. That is, even if you write total like this, like this, like this, or like this, it will be considered as one single variable there. But in case of Python, C, C++, Java, okay, C Sharp, any programming, any other programming language, they all are case sensitive, right? So you have to remember this. Keywords cannot be used as a variable. The list of keywords which I showed you, okay, when you start studying the keywords, like in the beginning, you will be using certain keywords like print, then input, okay, then you will be using keywords like while, for, else, elif, if. So all these are what keywords. You cannot use keywords as your identifiers. Okay. Keywords cannot be used as identifiers. Your identifiers have to be user defined. That is completely defined by you. Got it? But you can do one thing. If you are adamant that मैं तो यही use करूँगा, so how you can do that? If I write like this, you can use. Can you tell me the reason why?
Because Python is
Because
case
if it's
sensitive and this
capital.
should be considered as different variable.
Correct answer. Agni was also, I think somebody else was also giving the answer. Please give me your.
Ma'am, because F is capital in your name, and ma'am, in the keyword F is in lowercase, so it will be
Yes,
treated differently.
yes, very good. So these two will be treated as differently. So I have just deferred. मैंने थोड़ा सा इसको अलग बना दिया. So I am using capital F. This I can use, but I cannot use this. Right. Likewise, if I write, can I use this as a user-defined identifier?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Somebody else, please, apart from Agni and Mohit, anybody else who is there? Tell
Yes,
me your
ma'am.
name. Tell me your name.
Khushi.
Kushi. Yes, Kushi. Can you give me the reason why you can use this one as a
Yes,
user-defined
ma'am.
identifier?
Yes, ma'am. Because since Python is case sensitive, and then this second one that you had typed L is capital, so it is treated
Yes.
differently from that keywords.
Yes, very good. Exactly. Very good refined answer you gave me because L is capital over here. So this will be treated differently from this else. So all those keywords also, if you just change them a little bit, you can use them in your program. Students, this comes as a 2-mark question in the exam also. You will be asked some variable name. You will be given some identifier names and you have to pick out which one of them are invalid and which of them are valid. Now I'm going to give you some identifier names and you have to tell me which of them are valid and which are invalid, right? I write In your copy, you are going to just write these identifiers with their numbers, and you are going to put a tick if it is valid, and a cross if it is invalid. And then I will ask you. Yes. So I have given you these 7 identifiers. You have to specify whether they are invalid or valid. First, we will start with the first one. School num. Is it a valid identifier? You have to also specify the reason why it is valid, why it is
May
invalid.
Ma'am, may I?
Ma'am, may I? Ma'am, may I?
Wait. Raise your hands. Okay, Mohit, you have answered. Kushi, you have answered. Agni has answered. Yes, Aditya Dubey. First one.
Ma'am, it's invalid.
Okay, give me the reason. Your answer is correct. It is invalid. But what is the reason?
Ma'am, because a full stop is used
We will not
and
say full stop. Your answer is correct. This is known as a period sign. Okay, please use
okay,
this
ma'am.
terminology. Now it is a period sign. So your answer is absolutely correct because there is a period sign in between the identifier, which is a special character other than underscore. That is why it is invalid. How can you make it valid?
Ma'am, by using a underscore.
Yes, you can make it valid in a number of ways. You can insert an underscore symbol, or you can just use camel case, or you can just use capital N. This is also correct. Camel case is just a, you can say it's an option. It's not necessary that you have to use it in your program. But there are certain programming languages where it is not mandatory, but they have a tradition which they are following. Like Java, those who are Java developers, the Java community of developers, they usually follow a tradition that is to use camel case for name the identifiers. In fact, when I had joined a Java class, my instructor strictly told me to use camel case for all identifiers. Although, even if I don't use camel case, the compiler won't give me an error. But it was a community decided tradition, a standard, a convention which we were following, right? So it's up to us whether we want to do it. In Python, we don't have any such hard and fast uh, requirement, okay? So we will be following only some standard convention. So you can use it this way also. Very good, Aditya. Next is my file. Tell me whether this is valid or invalid. Anybody else? Yes, Jaya Vishwakarma. Second one.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, it's valid.
It's valid. Very good. Why? Because it follows all the rules of forming identifier. Fine. Third one. Yash Jiani. Yes. Yes, Gianni. Give me the answer for the third one.
Ma'am, it's not valid, ma'am, because numbers are not, ma'am, we cannot start with a number.
Very good. We cannot start it with a digit or a number. Okay. So I am writing books 1, 2, 3. We can make it valid in this way, or you can also write it like this, or you can also write it like this. Anyway, this is correct. And a number of other combinations you can make, keeping in mind the rules. Okay. Next is
Ma'am,
fourth one, principal amount. Yes.
ma'am, in this
Ask me.
third, we can
Uh,
write underscore first, then 1 to 3 books.
yes, we can write it. Very good. Kushi, you can also write it. You can start. One thing I forgot to tell you, you can start your identifier with an underscore also.
Yes, ma'am.
This is also correct. You can start your identifier with an underscore, right? Underscore or an alphabet, right? Okay. So three has we have done. Coming to the fourth one, principal amount. Some other students to raise their hands. Come on. Okay, Ashi Singh. Yes, Ashi Singh.
Yes, ma'am. It is not valid because blank space, white space is there.
Yes, very good. It is not valid because there is a blank space which is not allowed. How can you make it valid? Give me one example.
Ma'am, we can put underscore.
Yes, you can insert an underscore in between, or you can also write both the words together because both are capitalized. So you can write it in this way also, right? Very good. Next, fifth one, rate of interest. Divyan Sharma. Yes.
Ma'am, it's valid.
Okay. Why? Can you give me the reason?
Ma'am, because it starts with the alphabet and
Hmm.
there's no other error in it. Like we haven't
There.
left any white space over here. We have used
Very
underscore.
good. Very good. Very good. There are no spaces. There are no special symbols other than underscore. Doesn't start with a digit. And we are using some arbitrary combinations of uppercase and lowercase letters. This is absolutely correct. Sixth one, voting age. Come on, somebody else. Apart from them, anyone else? This is very easy. How many students are here? Anmol Gautam, Bhavya Jha, Kashish Soni. Kindly respond. Pratiksha Singh, Sakshi Sharma, Sanskriti Jain, Somil Verma. Anybody from these names?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please introduce yourself first.
Ma'am, Bhavya.
Bhavya Jha. Okay, very good, Bhavya. I'm listening, hearing your voice for the first time here. Okay. So, what do you think of this one? Voting age.
Ma'am, it's invalid because there's a
Yes.
hyphen in between.
Yes, very good. It is invalid because we are using a special character hyphen here. How can you make it valid?
By using an underscore sign.
Very good. We can use an underscore sign here. Anybody else? Any other suggestions? How can I make it valid?
We can
And by
Once
just
we've
using
already,
remove
camel
the
case.
space.
we can
Yes,
remove
ma'am.
the
Camel
space
case.
and we can simply stick them together. This is also correct. Okay, that is also right. So these two options are correct. One thing please remember, whenever you are asked to make corrections, kindly don't change the words. Okay, keep only you have to remove the error. Error remove करना है. ऐसा नहीं कि voting age को कुछ और नाम आपने दे दिया. Vote age कर दिया. Not that. Don't remove anything from here, only you have to correct the error, right? Last one, calc sum. Anybody from the names which I just took? Kindly tell me. मैंने कुछ लोगों का नाम लिया था अभी. Somil Verma, are you there? Sanskriti Jain, Sakshi Sharma, Ratiksha Singh. Okay, Anmol Joy Bara, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Anmol. See, I'm listening to your voice for the first time. Tell me whether calc sum is correct or not.
Ma'am, it's valid because the S of the word sum is capital.
Yes, very good. And it is valid because we haven't violated any rules of naming identifiers. There is no space in between, there is no hyphen, there is no special character, doesn't start with a digit. And we are using which case here? We are using camel case. If you look at this very carefully, this S is capital and this C is small, right? So we are using camel case. So camel case is a very nice way of creating your identifiers. I hope this small activity makes it clear that what type of identifiers you can use in your program. Is this clear to everybody? How you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
name your identifiers? Because we are going to start with programming very soon, and the crux of programming is naming identifiers. Okay, so if you एक एक टॉपिक जो हम लेते हुए चल रहे हैं, ओके, प्लीज यू हैव टू मेक इट क्लियर राइट ओवर देयर. ओके, उसको वही क्लियर करते चलो, उस कंसेप्ट को बिल्कुल दिमाग में बिठा लो, राइट? ओके, so I'm giving you a small homework, and that homework is you have to write 5 valid identifiers in your copy. Okay, write 5 valid identifiers and use your own assumptions. Okay, any 5 valid identifiers you can write. Clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in notes copy or that practice copy that you had told us to make?
Practice copy. Practice copy. Practice
Yes, ma'am.
copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And I'll be giving you the first installment of Python notes also, so you can pair it up in your copy, right? And your syllabus for your second PT is the 2 chapters, that is firstly the 2 chapters, that is um, computer system overview and insight into program execution. I am repeating that. And getting started with Python, that is the very first chapter where Python is introduced. We have already completed that and we have entered Python fundamentals. Okay, so getting started with Python, all the basic things are provided there, the pluses and minuses of Python, why we need Python. So we have studied all that very in detail. I will be sharing this PPT with you so you can prepare it from there. So PPT is for, so from PPT also I'll let you know if there are certain notes you have to take from the PPT, I will let you know that. Okay, so that part and introduction about some common Python IDEs, that is also given, right? So that we will be having 3 chapters for your PT2, that is the first 2 chapters which were there in PT1 and getting started with Python, right? So with this, I complete today's class, but we will be meeting again at 11 a.m. also. So kindly be ready at 11 a.m. and be ready with your self-study register, that second copy, okay? Because a lot of things now you will be writing and doing there. So we meet again at